Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is political poison, if you were to ask me. She is unliked in swing states. In fact, according to some polls, she's unliked in her own district. But it seems to me that she's built up a Twitter universe. That's her constituency, Twitter universe. These are pockets of people that live all across the country, not a cohesive community. If she has won over anyone, she has absolutely won over the Twitter district. Unfortunately, the Twitter district doesn't vote and is not a real place. When it comes to the candidates she's endorsed, most of them have done quite poorly. So consider this a bit of an addendum to my main channel video. But I want to talk about her and the other progressives that for some reason Bernie Sanders decided to embrace and surround himself with. People like Sean King and Linda Sarsour. Congratulations on losing Super Tuesday. Maybe he'll win, but he lost, and I think that plays a role. Get rid of the lunatics and stop surrounding yourself with people like this. Because remember when AOC, she went to a Bernie rally when Bernie was doing the impeachment trial, and she said Bernie wants to break up CBP and ICE. And Bernie's campaign freaked out like, no, stop. We want border security. That's too extreme for us. It was too extreme for Bernie, but it didn't matter. I assure you, that resonated with people, and they were like, whoa, not interested. Let's read about the AOC-aligned progressive candidates who fell flat on Super Tuesday. Fox News reports the Democratic, AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's progressive candidates did not have a Super Tuesday in the first congressional primaries of the 2020 cycle. The Democratic establishment, on the other hand, could breathe a sigh of relief after three primary challengers from Texas and California underperformed in highly anticipated contests against longtime Democratic incumbents and establishment darlings. A favorite of progressives across the country, Texas congressional candidate Jessica Cisneros, an immigration lawyer, came just short of recreating the AOC primary upset of her own when she attempted to unseat 9-term incumbent Henry Cuellar, who represents the Texas 20th District of south of San Antonio. She played strong to her progressive roots and often referred to Cuellar as Trump's favorite Democrat, also receiving high-profile endorsements from Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Congratulations on losing, by the way. Ocasio-Cortez herself tweeted Wednesday, I am so incredibly proud of Jessica Cisneros. At 26-year-old, she ran for office for the first time to offer Texas 28 new leadership that fights for workers, gender rights, and climate agenda. She stood up to the Koch brother money and incumbency, and she came closer than anyone imagined. Now, I'll stop there. Absolutely, these people have my respect for running. While we may disagree on politics, it is absolutely your right, nay, your duty, to stand up for what you believe in and run for office. We need more young people doing this, and I can absolutely respect that. But I disagree with you a lot. I don't know everything about her policies, but I know AOC is a narcissistic, arrogant egotist, and she, in my opinion, is political poison. But let's read on. They say, meanwhile, Cristina Zinsun Ramirez, the progressive-backed candidate for a Texas Senate seat, is struggling to make it to a runoff, with MJ Hager, the Democratic establishment's favored pick, to face longtime Republican Senator John Cornyn in November. While no candidate won more than 50% of the vote in the race, returns show Ramirez locked in a battle with Texas State Senator Royce West for a place in the runoff with Hager. Another AOC-backed candidate, Georgette Gomez, did make the initial cut and qualified for the general election for California's 53rd district, located in San Diego County. However, she came in second with 19% of the vote against the establishment candidate Sarah Jacobs, who received 28%. In California, as one of the top two primary vote getters, Gomez automatically qualifies for the November general election. So not all bad, and we've seen worse. But I don't think you should be jumping up and down excited for an endorsement from somebody that's, widely criticized, often by people in swing states too. All three challengers were endorsed in the last month by Courage to Change, a political action committee formed by Ocasio-Cortez to help progressive challengers take on establishment incumbents. Well, the Justice Democrats band broke up. Cenk Uygur and Kyle Kalinske got the boot. Saket Chakrabarty was kicked, he left AOC's campaign. And now she's doing a new thing, but it seems like the Beatles are no more, to give you an analogy. Despite the fact that all three candidates had strong organizations and fundraising numbers. The youth vote that they were desperate to turn out did not appear to show up. Oh, heavens! Who could have seen that coming? You tried to get money from people who don't have money. You pandered to an audience that will never put up. They'll never put their money where their mouth is. Congratulations on convincing yourself that the Twitter universe was real life and that young people were going to vote for you. Well, they didn't. In Texas especially, only 16% of voters were 18 to 29. That to me is crazy. 29? Like, come on, dude, you're an adult. Go vote. I mean, now what can I say? I didn't vote either. Well, my primary wasn't up yet, so. Compared to voters who were 65 or older, who made up 24% of the vote, youth voter turnout was only 13% nationally. Hear, hear. Let me give a round of applause to all the Democrats who banked on the one demographic that never shows up, and everyone knows they don't show up. And don't be surprised come November when they don't show up. The types of candidates that Democrats put on the ballot have been the center of a big feud between AOC and the Democratic leadership. Though she is one of the highest profile members of the party and one of the biggest fundraisers, Ocasio-Cortez has refused to donate her share of fundraising to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee due to their policy to blacklist vendors who work with progressive primary challengers. The top Democrat in the House, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, got personally involved in the race between Cisneros and Queller when she visited the latter's campaign office in Laredo, Texas, just a couple weeks earlier, calling for a resounding victory to her longtime ally. While these are only the first congressional contests of the election cycle, they could serve an early litmus test of how the Democrats plan to present themselves to voters in November. In the 2018 midterm elections, Democrats were able to win back the House largely because of their focus on less progressive candidates who mainly focus on kitchen table issues such as drug prices and healthcare. Now, I think this is a bigger problem with a radical fringe, chaotic force with no real plans or policies. Some of them have ideas. Bernie's make no sense. Bernie embraces gutter trash, violent individuals. He hires them to his campaign. He won't denounce them because he is literally amassing a junk mannequin. It is a framed statue made of trash to make it appear as though they have a fighting chance. And that's why they don't win. Because Americans do not want a communist revolution. They do not want a socialist revolution. They do not want complete government takeover. They want reasonable changes to make their lives better. And Bernie has surrounded himself with some of the most insane, disgusting people the internet has to offer. These people on Twitter, like AOC, Sean King, Linda Sarsour, they are not particularly prominent in the real world. Here's what happens on Twitter. You get people who come online, and maybe 0.1% of this country is a socialist. I think socialist is a lot higher than that, but let's say there's a fringe opinion held by a tiny fraction. Well, online, these people can hide behind anonymous accounts and then follow you and support you. And it feels like you have this big coalition behind you. But in the real world, they're hiding in their basements and they do not make up the water coolers, the town halls, the real conversations that are happening in this country. So when you embrace this lunacy like Gillibrand and Warren and other people have, what do you think's going to happen when you show up to a town hall and you say something like Warren did about having a high schooler vet your education secretary? They're going to be like, she's nuts. High schoolers are stupid. They don't even vote. Why would you give them the right to say who should be a cabinet member? But Warren literally did that. Welcome to the Democratic Party in 2020. I swear you've got the collapse of the Democrats propping up Joe Biden. There's no leadership. It's the old guard. They are failing. On the young side, it's a disparate, chaotic force that wants to cancel everybody, has no principles, doesn't even vote based on what they want to happen, just on who they think will win. They say crazy things about crazy people. They don't even all agree on their own policies. And Bernie Sanders embraces these lunatics, and many of these people march through streets with crowbars, baseball bats, smashing windows and starting fires. Here's what I want you to do. If you support this stuff or are questioning whether you're interested in supporting it, why don't you go visit Berkeley? Go to Berkeley and go to the strip just off the Berkeley campus and look at all of the bent knees, all of the signs in the windows begging, please don't smash my windows. I'll do whatever you say because I'm pathetic and my spine was torn out a long time ago. You know what, man? If someone came to my neighborhood and said, put the sign in your window for the party or you'll get what's coming to you, I'll say, I'm waiting for what's coming to me. And I'll tell you what, I'll one-up you. I'll put a big middle finger in my window. I'm not bending the knee to any of you lunatics. But I've been to these cities and I've seen the signs, like in Oakland. I saw a sign on Burger King saying, please don't smash our windows. We're a family-owned franchise, not a corporate store. That's the world they live in when they support this gutter trash. So that's what you get. And I'm not saying gutter trash about the politicians, the progressives, the people running, or AOC, or Bernie Sanders. I'm talking about Antifa. I'm talking about these fringe lunatics who run around smashing things. That's the gutter trash being weaponized by people like Bernie Sanders. They're violent lunatics. Stop supporting them. What's that? You need their support? The media props them up? Well, so be it. You will lose, and you deserve to lose. I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment's coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all next time.